14, at just 14 years old, I left school. I thought I knew it all and no one could tell me nothing. I had big dreams to achieve and what, no one gonna tell me nothing. Has anyone else in their younger years felt like that? Are any of you who in here, I see your hands. A few of you, literally, you felt like the world, you knew it. But you know, I have a 14-year-old daughter now and I know there's so much learning left ahead of her, right? Anyone else got teenage children in here? Yeah. That, when we think about where we were at that age compared to it's analysed, amazing. But I really thought I knew it all, but because I left school with not one GCSE to my name, very, very quickly I got into some crazy crowds and I got caught up in places that no child should ever go, because I was a child, right, 14. But alhamdulillah, with time, at 19 years old, 2007, by the blessings of Allah, and I can't believe that I can just say that openly on a boat on the Thames, like, just by the blessings of Allah, I became Muslim, and it was the best and the most blessed day of my life. Took my Shahada. But for those of you who are reverts or who have started practicing again, you know it's a journey, and it's not always a plain sailing one. Yeah, and very, very quickly, I got a call from my agent at the time, because I had an agent back then. Absolutely. And he said to me, "You've been chosen." I said, "I've been chosen to do what?" And he said, "You've been chosen to tour with a massive celebrity." He was one of the biggest celebrities at the time, a multi-million-dollar record company owner. They believed in my dreams that I knew I could do. The long nights in the studios, the long days pitching, it was worth it. They believed in me, and it was really like a domino effect in that time, you see. It's probably like that still in the industries now. Once you get in one door and they like you, they're gonna be calling you back again, and more people will call you back again. So I was so excited, and then, has anyone ever heard of the saying, it hits you like a ton of bricks? Right? Had that moment before, but those bricks came tumbling down right on my head, because I realised something. That particular celebrity, he spoke lyrics that were womanizing and disgraceful towards women. And not that I ever stood for that before, but Islam taught me that women, we are queens, we are worthy, we are fabulous, we're amazing. And I knew in that moment that there was no way that I could introduce that celebrity and stand as a Muslim woman for what he was speaking about towards women. So I really didn't know how to merge both of those worlds together. So the girl that I was, I didn't know how to bring her into the woman, the Muslim woman that I was becoming. So I buried her and I silenced my voice. And it was very quick. I was 19 and I got married, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're a new Muslim, you must get married. And alhamdulillah, some time on, I have 4 amazing kids, the biggest blessing that will ever happen to me, alhamdulillah. That broken souls attract broken souls, and it was a whirlwind of abuse. And very quickly, I felt like the boat I was on had reached its full capacity, and everyone else was staying afloat while I was sinking. And I think for so many of us as women in our lives, we tend to put everyone else's needs before our own, right? And we forget to put the life jacket on ourselves. We forget to save ourselves. We forget to check ourselves. And at what point are we going to say, I matter too? Because you are somebody, daughter, yes, mother, Allahumma barik, wife maybe, but you are you, and your dreams, your passions, they are so important. And when I realised that, I saw the beautiful effect that it had on my own children. Because you know they say you can't pour from an empty cup? Or is the cup half full or half empty? Do you know what I realised? The cup is just refillable. It is just refillable. Who in here as a woman has felt at some point in your life that you put everyone else's needs before your own? Yeah, a lot more than public speakers, right? And that is beautiful. It is praiseworthy. That is amazing. As long as we remember to put the life jacket on ourselves too, right? Alhamdulillah, in 2020, I was a single mum. I'm a single mum of 4. I decided this time, you know what? I'm going to throw my life jacket off by choice and jump head first into the ocean. By choice, because I'm crazy like that. And I started up my own business with a friend, which is my first business, which is Homeschool Queens. And it took off so quickly. We have a thriving international audience. And I found myself falling in love with entrepreneurship. I found myself, I've gone back to uni. It's never too late. There is never an age that is too late. I went and I did storytelling at Goldsmith University. I fell in love with the fact that when we speak up, we can really touch people. I found that when I spoke up, my business started to take off. And I realized that it is so important. And I started up the first public speaking academy for Muslim entrepreneurs and thought leaders in the world, Power Voice Academy. And do you know what I learned? Do you know what I learned? If you have a dream, it is worth fighting for. Sailing to new heights. We talk about sailing to new heights. Well, sailing to new heights is going after your dreams without sacrificing your values. Sailing to new heights is making sure that when we sail, we don't look back in regret. Sailing to new heights is first healing our inner child and past footsteps so that when we get to the new heights and the final destination, we can live there in peace. And do you know what? When I was at my lowest point, because there's been many of those, when I hit rock bottom, what kept me afloat? The glimpse of Iman. Alhamdulillah. Because bearing in mind, before Islam, I was around a lot of celebrities. Lights, camera, action, they had it all. But when the lights went out, they realised that all that glittered, the cars, the money, it meant absolutely nothing. And they were stung by the sting of loneliness. And many of them, they would turn that loneliness into intoxicants and drugs and numbing the pain, because they didn't know what their souls were here for. But as Muslims, we know what our soul is here for, right? Even in our darkest hour, there is still light in our hearts, because Islam is worth fighting for. We know what we're here for. SubhanAllah. You know, when I started speaking up and doing events like this, I started looking into the biggest public speakers in the world. I wanted to be able to captivate the room like them. But Mel Robbins, this is a big speaker, she said she holds the answers. And Lisa Nichols, she's my favourite, she said, you hold the pen and you are in charge of your destiny. And Tony Robbins, who's heard of Tony Robbins? The big Tony Robbins, he said, I am one with God. And so much calling to self that I realised, hang on Khalila, maybe they just need to hear you. Maybe they just need to hear you. So when I accepted my voice in its perfect imperfection, I realised how many doors could open up, and doors opened up that I could never ever have dreamed of, and they could open up for every single one of you. I got invited to speak on TEDx, a multi-billion viewer platform, and I went niqab. And I don't think I'm better than anyone who doesn't wear niqab. It's a piece of cloth. But the fact of the matter is, right, alhamdulillah, the fact of the matter is that I got to deliver a talk, and you know what the producer, he said to me in Santa Barbara, California, he said, I have never had a conversation with a Muslim woman before. He could not believe when I told him that Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her, the beloved wife of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a businesswoman. Because the media does not depict us like that, right? The media does not show. On this boat alone, how many skilled and phenomenal women there are. What make up Muslim women. The media does not portray that, but if we want to be heard, we're going to have to speak up a little bit louder. Who's ready to speak up? We need to be heard. We need to make the changes. SubhanAllah. I know that message that lives inside of you is so big, but do you know that 50% of women, strong business women, corporate women, management women, women at the top of their careers, will not even look in the mirror at their own reflection? 50%, that is huge, of women will not even stand by a mirror long enough to know the impact that your voice can make on this world. That it is in our imperfections that true beauty lies. we will never be perfect. It's not Jannah. And subhanAllah, when I was looking into Islam, a beautiful friend of mine, Samaya, she said to me, what's the most beautiful place on earth to you? I said, that's easy, the ocean. Clear white sands, crystal blue seas. Who's coming? Let's go. She said, okay, I want to stay there for hours and hours and hours. I said, absolutely. Absolutely. Escape reality, I'm there. Let's go. Again, who's coming? Let's go to the ocean. But she said, I want you to stay there for hours and 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 hours, and you are going to get bored. Because there is no place on this earth. Look how beautiful this is, subhanAllah. But if you were to be told to sit here for hours and hours and hours, I think you're going to want your bed, you're going to want to go home. Because there's no place on this earth that we will ever be content in forever, because it is not Jannah. And that's the same with our goals and our dreams. When they get a bit hard, when they become more challenging or they take longer than we planned, we get bored and we give up. But there is so much space that you need to take up to go harder, to share. So those messages that you had inside of you, I want to invite you, when I finish speaking, to go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone in here. So you see the people that you don't normally speak to, I really want to challenge you to introduce yourself. Tell them your big dreams, your passions. Tell them what you do, and we want to hear. I want to hear. And if you're ready to embark on your public speaking journey, I've left you a little gift inside your bag that you're going to get, which is called How to Be a Powerhouse Speaker. My pleasure. My sisters, it has been phenomenal and a big, I can't even find words of how grateful I am that you sat here and let me talk for this long. But it's been amazing to stand inside. Okay, you have a question, yeah?